Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Langer at the Mic Live, another Habs post-game show here on Langer at the Mic Live. Been having technical issues here, which is why I'd like to think that finally we're on here right now. But if it's working, thank you so much for joining us. And the reason I'm delayed for this Habs post-game show here is because of, first of all, I've just been having a terrible amount of technical difficulties. This person tuning in right now, are we on? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Give me a quick yes or no in the comment section if my audio is working. If not, just give me a thumbs down or just let me know in the comments. But yeah, I just had a nightmare of technical issues trying to get my audio to work here on my laptop. Thank you, Bialahi. Really appreciate that. We're finally going here again. I have this microphone here that I brought in, but it's not working for some reason on my computer. So anyway, enough of that. But also, the reason why I'm a little bit late, so technical issues aside, it's also my birthday tomorrow. So that's why I'm with my family, and we had a nice meeting or a nice Zoom meeting with a couple of my aunts and uncles and cousins in the second intermission there. So I had to watch the third period a little bit on delay. But you know what? The Montreal Canadiens, in classic fashion, they lost 4-3 in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers, but they clinched the playoff spot. They got the 1 point that they needed. Thank you, Roger. Yes, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Unfortunately, not the best start, I guess, with the technical issues, but at least, you know what? Habs clinched the playoff spot today, and that's all that matters. In classic Montreal Canadiens fashion, losing in overtime, but they got the 1 point that they needed. The 1 point that they needed against Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the Edmonton Oilers, but they lost 4-3 in overtime because, of course, it was Connor McDavid. You know, you can't keep with this keep away strategy. Thanks, B. Elahi in the comment section. Happy birthday as well. Thank you, Ben, or B. Elahi. But yeah, just the Habs, like their strategy of playing keep away is only going to work so much in overtime, but at least it got them 3 overtime wins in their last couple of tries. So I guess that's the bright side of their new overtime strategy, at least when they execute. But when you have guys like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice and even Darnell Nurse, like it's not going to work every single game. But again, credit the Montreal Canadiens for battling back again, for scoring the first goal, but then having to battle back and doing what they had to do to to get the point. Feels like a win, but they did what they had to do to get that 1 point to now clinch the playoff spot. And honestly, this game, like if it wasn't for Paul Byron, who matters, by the way, Paul Byron, when he plays the way he did today with Artturi Lehkonen and Jake Evans, like Paul Byron matters in this lineup. And we're at the point in the season where I don't think the cap matters as much because it's more about like you can't make any moves anyway, and any moves that you do make, you're doing it because of injuries in your lineup once you're this late in the season going to the playoffs. But yeah, Paul Byron, man, he matters to this team in terms of what he brings defensively on the forecheck, in terms of his occasional goal scoring. He's not like a goal scoring threat, and he needs to play at this level. He needs to play with this effort and this intensity every single game that he plays to be effective. Same with Jake Evans, same with Artturi Lehkonen. But man, when they play like the way they did tonight, like they are definitely a force to be reckoned with on that third line, or even fourth line originally, but you know, it ended up being the third line. Like they scored all 3 goals to the Habs tonight. They scored all 3 goals to the Habs. Artturi Lehkonen, goal 2 assists. Jake Evans, a goal 2 assists. Paul Byron, goal 1 assist, +3. Jake Evans, Artturi Lehkonen, +2 each. Like, they single-handedly won this game for the Montreal Canadiens, literally. And what was difficult tonight was their defense. Again, they're like Romanov struggled, plain and simple. Like Romanov, with Weber's absence, has struggled. And I'm going to say it again. I've been saying this a lot, and I've been, asking for Shea Weber to be load managed, and he has been injured now. But so I guess I'm getting what I wanted, or getting what I personally have been clamoring for, but I also didn't exactly ask for Weber to be injured every single game. But now that he has been injured for every single game for the last 2 weeks, Romanov has to step up and play a lot more minutes, and he might not be there yet. He might not be there just yet, Romanov. He has a lot of good look, still plays hard, still hits, still skates well, but in terms of his D-zone coverage, is just he needs refining as a defenseman as in terms of consistency and in terms of his D-zone coverage. He was a -3 tonight. He was on the ice for all 3 Edmonton Oilers goals. And yeah, Roger Delaney Byron was great, especially with Deneau out. Yeah, like look, Byron was really, really good today. And Jake Evans was the best player on the Montreal Canadiens tonight by far. Like Jake Evans was the one that drove that line. You look at the first goal, Jake Evans, first goal was perfect positioning by both Byron and Jake Evans to take a really nice quick breakout pass from Jeff Petrie, and then Evans did a quick give and go with Lehkonen in the neutral zone, and then Evans evaded the Oilers defender, just escaped him at the last second and just roofed it bar down on Mikko Koskinen. And that's another thing. Look, with Koskinen net tonight, there was no excuse for the Habs to not at least pick up 1 point. Like, Koskinen is just, the Habs have had success against Koskinen all season. And yeah, Koskinen is just good because he's big. And he also had like 2 or 3 other plays where he just turned the puck over. So yeah, thankfully the Habs got the point that they needed against Koskinen. But yeah, Jake Evans, going back to Jake Evans, that was the first goal. The second goal was that was the Byron goal, which Evans just attacked the neutral zone with speed and then fed Lehkonen. And then Lehkonen's pass, I think, was supposed to go back to Evans, but it ended up going all the way to Byron, who roofed it backhand top shelf. And then they had another great goal in the third period that got called off, where it was a 3-on-2 where Evans was. Oh yeah, so this was a great play, by the way, by Evans, because this was like a perfect full ice two-way play by Jake Evans, where he was in the right place at the right time in the defensive zone to intercept a pass, a centering pass, led the rush, led the 3-on-2 with Paul Byron and Artturi Lehkonen, and then he fed Byron tack to Byron, toe to Lehkonen, who buried it, but then that got called off for offside. But then later in the third period, you look at Artturi Lehkonen there's your gimme from Mikko Koskinen. Weak shot, short blocker side, one that Koskinen should have stopped. But hey, if the one didn't count from the offside before, this one did, and the Habs tied it up and forced overtime. And the Habs, they had a couple of chances to win in overtime. But again, look, when McDavid has a breakaway like that, sure, he had the 2-on-0 with Jesse Puljujarvi in that game, and sure, he had Marner and Matthews with the 2-on-0 in overtime against the Leafs on Monday, but the Habs aren't going to be that lucky in overtime, let's be real. And Connor McDavid did what Connor McDavid does, and when he has a breakaway, he's just got his 100th point in 50 whatever games on Saturday. So he wasn't going to miss that breakaway. And Roger, this is what line depth looks like. The Evans line took up the slack from the Suzuki and KK line. So now let's segue into the rest of the forwards. Obviously, we already mentioned Romanov had a really rough game tonight. The first goal was just so it was a 3-on-2, or sorry, the first goal, yeah, it was Merrill and Romanov. Just they didn't get their sticks in proper position, and Jake Allen maybe could have covered the left side post a little bit better, but also 2 pucks got through the crease. And just Romanov and Merrill, they have to have more active sticks and get rid of those passing lanes crosswise in front of the net. And James Neal just, had a shot from in close. It was a dead angle, but still in close. And yeah, that was on Romanov and Merrill. They should have played that better. And then the second goal, the 2-1 goal by Edmonton, that was where Romanov, Draisaitl came in, attacked the zone with speed, and Romanov was too late to go and cover. It was Yamamoto. Yeah, I think it was Yamamoto. If I just confirm that in my notes here, it was Yamamoto. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it was Merrill. It was 3-on-1, 2. So yeah, it was Yamamoto, who now is in the slot, and because Romanov did not get away from Draisaitl to cover Yamamoto, now Merrill was in a crappy situation. He had to cover a 2-on-1 where he went to Yamamoto and left Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back door. But here's the other thing. It was a 3-on-2 for a reason, because a forward didn't get back. And I think that was Corey Perry, who did not get back in time and to cover Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back door. Between Perry, I think Suzuki was in that sequence, but it was primarily on Perry to get back. And yeah, thanks a lot, Matt. Once again, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to be Josh George's years old tomorrow, so closer to 30 than to 20, I guess. But hey, I've grown so much in this last year of COVID and switching careers and all that. I'll save a little bit that for the end, but yeah, just going back to Romanov here. Just tough game for Romanov. And then of course in the second period it was the Cahoon goal where honestly at this point the play happened like over 2 hours ago ish. Yeah, so at this point I just remember watching on RDS and seeing the graphic of Romanov having been on the ice for 1 minute 50, 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10 seconds, 2 minutes 20 seconds, and Connor McDavid jumps on the ice for the Oilers. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's game over for the Habs on that one, right? So that was just that was Romanov's game in a nutshell right there. Just played 15 minutes and -3, wrong place at the wrong times all game, and just hopefully he'll bounce back. I don't know how much he'll play on Wednesday, but look, I mean, at this point, they just got to be in their best position to compete in the playoffs, likely playing against the Leafs. And yes, Randy, Habs are in. It is a sigh of relief indeed, but not too much of a sigh with not too much relief because, just one game left in the season, then you're more than likely going to face the Leafs in the first round at this point. They are still 2 points behind the Oilers, or 1 point, I think, behind the Jets, for the third spot, and the Jets have that one game in hand. So at this point, I'd say it's all likely that they will play the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. And yeah, man, Randy, Byron line on the ball. The other lines need work. And let's talk about that right now. I know I said that before, but let's actually get into it right now. I actually like the Eric Stahl, Cole Caulfield, and Corey Perry line. Contrary to Primo should get the last game, absolutely. I'll get to the comments in a second here. Just one more thing. Got to talk about the forwards. Then, like last time, we'll just focus on your comments at the end. But one more thing, or in terms of the forwards. So I like the Eric Stahl, Cole Caulfield, and Corey Perry combination. I really do, actually, because they make things happen whenever they're on the ice. Like you got the young Cole Caulfield working with two veterans. Yeah, okay, maybe you're saying they can't skate as much, and Cole Caulfield's the only guy that can skate. But you know what? Perry and Stahl did set up Caulfield with numerous opportunities, and Caulfield just missed them. There was one play in the first period, I remember, where it was Stahl made a nice pass to Perry. Perry shot on Koskinen. Koskinen, as usual, gave up a massive rebound, but it just came a little bit too hot to Caulfield to handle, and he just couldn't bury it. There was also a play where in the second period where Mikko Koskinen came out to play the puck, gave it away, of course. That was like 3 plays that he came out of his net and almost gifted the Habs with easy opportunities, misplaying the puck out of his net. And Stahl did the right thing to take away the clearing attempt along the boards, but then he gave it to Cole Caulfield, and Cole Caulfield did the right thing to walk in the slot, but he just fanned on his first shot attempt, and he still got a shot on net, but he fanned on his first one. I wonder if that first shot attempt would have been better than the second one. And then also there was another situation in the third period, I want to say. Yeah, it was a one-timer where Caulfield, was it on the power play in the third period there? I think it was on the power plays after the Lehkonen offside where Caulfield just missed a one-timer. And like I've said before, I'll say this again, where to me, this is a matter of Caulfield just either his mind is a step ahead of his brain or his brain is a step ahead of his mind, because as a young player, he just knows that he has to make plays 2 or 3 or 4 times faster than he's used to making them, right? So to me, once he gets, I literally said to myself, when he missed that one-timer in the third period, if he's in Wisconsin, that puck's getting on net. If anything, or it's probably getting, if it's not going in, it's at least getting on net. So to me, this just, again, comes with Caulfield playing more games, getting more experience, getting more comfortable, and he'll be able to bury these. So that's Caulfield. That's that line, Stahl, Caulfield, and Corey Perry, which I really liked. But with that being said, though, the unfortunate thing, though, with Eric Stahl now is Kotkaniemi is broken right now. Kotkaniemi is now in 2019, 2020 is Barry Kotkaniemi when he got sent down to the to the Laval Rocket. And it's really just really difficult to see right now because he played 9 minutes. Philip Deneau wasn't even healthy tonight, and Kotkaniemi played 9 minutes. Okay, sure, Evans played a heck of a game. Evans played 17 minutes tonight, which is close to a season high, I'm sure. And Stahl played 14, and Suzuki probably played his usual 19 or whatever it was, or 22 minutes for Nick Suzuki. And Kotkaniemi only played 9 minutes. And to me, it's a chicken and egg effect. You know, it's a chicken and egg effect because because when Kotkaniemi is a young player, plays with, I think someone on Twitter mentioned 12 different line combinations this season, whereas Suzuki, with the longest time, he had Drouin and Anderson, and now for the longest time, he gets to stay with Toffoli, whereas Kotkaniemi, up, down, left, right, like up and down the lineup, left wing, right wing, center. Like, let the guy just figure it out with someone. Like, yeah, only 9 minutes of ice time for Kotkaniemi. And again, it comes down to the fact where in the chicken and egg relationship, Kotkaniemi doesn't get the confidence of his coaches, makes one little mistake or has 1 or 2 games where he's not playing as well as he could be, doesn't get the confidence from his coach. And then he gets placed on the 3rd or 4th line. And then because he doesn't get the confidence of his coach and he doesn't get the same opportunities, well, now he loses confidence. And because he loses confidence, he doesn't play as well or he plays less well. And as a result, now the coach has less trust in him and gives him even less opportunity. So it's a spiraling chicken and egg effect with Kotkaniemi right now, which can be stopped by having a coach that actually gives him the opportunities and lives with his mistakes, like Nick Suzuki, who has been really good early in the season and has been really good recently. But even when Nick Suzuki struggled at his worst, I can guarantee you, off the top of my head, there aren't many games where Nick Suzuki only played 9 minutes of ice time this year. So to me, there's something's got to give here. Like, you got to be able to live with Kotkaniemi's mistakes, you know, or when he's playing well and has like 1 or 2 games that are okay, like in Calgary. Okay, he had that turnover there. You know, he had that turnover in the neutral zone in one of those Calgary games, which led to a Flames goal. So Nick Suzuki didn't cover Austin Matthews one time, which led to a tying goal against the Leafs. But Nick Suzuki still gets 17 to 18 minutes of ice time per game with offensively creative line mates. Whereas Kotkaniemi now is at 9 minutes a game when he's, you know, just not playing at he's just getting less and less confidence and less opportunities because he's playing less and less well. So it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. And as well as I've said that Stahl, Caulfield, and Perry have been playing together, this is where I wonder if the Canadiens, even though they have a 3rd and 5th round pick, even though they retained only 50% of Stahl's salary and Buffalo retained the other 50%, did they lose the Eric Stahl trade? Because Eric Stahl only 2 goals in his time as a Habs so far. Eric Stahl, okay, good at faceoffs, but until recently hasn't been as great. I mean, I've also said that Stahl could be very important in the playoffs, and I think he will be. Still has that chance to be important in the playoffs. But you got and here's another interesting thing. There was a report or a rumor of some kind where Stahl, in terms of his, like, for him to come to Montreal and waive his no trade clause or no movement clause, he would have had to agree to not be healthy scratched and to get power play time and to get ice time. Which to me is like, how can you accept that situation? Why are you okay with acquiring a player with that situation? You know? Anyway, so that's just, I guess, my frustration. I still really hope that Stahl plays better. I hope that Kotkaniemi plays better. I hope that Kotkaniemi gets more opportunities to turn things around. Maybe his experience in the bubble last year will help him in the playoffs this year. And yeah, I really hope that's a problem right now. The Kotkaniemi, what he should be versus what he is right now versus what he has been at times this season is a problem. It's a real problem. And yeah, I don't trust his coaching staff to fix it. I don't trust Dominique Ducharme. I don't trust Alexander Burrows. I think it's more Ducharme who has a say in that than Burrows. But Burrows is still part of the equation right now. But I don't trust his coaching staff to develop Kotkaniemi. I don't. And I think that Kotkaniemi should stick with Joel Bouchard, whether that's in Laval or the Montreal Canadiens, wherever Joel Bouchard is, Kotkaniemi should be. That simple. And one more thing in terms of, and I'll get to the comments in a sec. Don't get me wrong. I'll get to the comments. Leave a comment in the comment section on whether you're positive or negative or surprised or impressed or frustrated or whatever. I'll get to them in a second. I just want to mention one more thing with Josh Anderson. Josh Anderson was a -2 tonight. He played 17 minutes, had 2 hits, 3 shots on goal. But he just can't buy a goal, man. Poor guy he skates up and down the ice. He hits everything that moves, but he just can't buy a goal. And when he had that breakaway in the third period, to me, when you're struggling like that, just shoot the puck on net. Don't try this fancy forehand, backhand stuff. If anything, watch Jonathan Drouin again. Best wishes to Jonathan Drouin. Hope he's doing well and can come back when he's ready to come back. I don't care if it's not this season. Come back when you're ready, Drouin. But don't do the thing where Drouin would do, where every chance he'd get on a breakaway or short breakaway, instead of just shooting the darn puck on net, he tries fancy forehand, backhand, whatever stuff, and he'd lose a handle on it or get poke checked, whatever. Josh Anderson, just shoot the puck on net on that breakaway. Just shoot the puck on net. And that's all you have to do right now. When you're struggling like Josh Anderson is to score goals, just do the simple plays. Put the puck on net, and one of them will go in eventually. But keep doing what you're doing. Skate up and down the ice. Hit everything that moves. Be the leader that you are. Keep tapping Caden Primo when he has a rough game like that. Keep being a great teammate and a great leader, and the goals will come. Just shoot the puck on net and keep it simple. That's all. All right, now let's get to the comments. Let's scroll up here. We have a couple filing in. And as usual, thank you so much for tuning in to my Langer at the Mike postgame show. Thank you for staying with me on these these technical delays here. And even though it's 11 o'clock at night, the game ended an hour ago, and I usually like to do this an hour ago. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And let's get right to your comments. Once again, thank you, Matt, for the birthday wishes there. We're in Byron line on the ball. Other lines need work. We just mentioned that. Primo should get the last game. Yeah, Matthew Cowan. I love Evans. Of course, me too. And Evans should not come out of the lineup. That's a tough decision to be made, is that Evans should not come out of the lineup, but he also needs to play with the effort that he showed tonight in every single game to be effective, because he had a couple of nice, talented plays today, but overall his talent is not consistent enough for him to be effective if he's not competing or not playing at the same effort that he does every game. So if you want to talk about the Stahl trade, the one thing that the Stahl trade did do is bring the best out of Jake Evans. And that's also on Kotkaniemi, because when we talk going back to Kotkaniemi, that's on him too, to now raise his game or say, oh crap, this 36-year-old guy, veteran with 1 Stanley Cup and 1,000 or whatever many NHL games has been acquired. Well, I'm going to learn from him and I'm going to play well with him in the line, even though he is in the lineup. I'm still going to do what I can with the opportunities that I get and not be too affected by the fact that I'm not getting as many opportunities. So, but it's mostly on the coaching staff. But it's not. But you also can't absolve Kotkaniemi from responsibility for him playing the way he's playing. He's still a young player, but he has to take it upon himself as well to play better. Evans, Caulfield time with his line mates. Randy, agreed. Like I said, I actually do like that line with Perry and Eric Stahl. Sheldon, I'm getting 08-09 and 9-10 end of season vibes, even with injuries to key players. I'm concerned. Well, let's just see what this team could do with Gallagher back. Let's just see what this team can do with Gallagher back, with hopefully Deneau back. I don't know if I want to say Carey Price and net. Carey Price will probably get game 1 anyway. But look, sometimes that's 08-09 or what's it called? You said, those were 2 complete different seasons there, Sheldon, because in 08-09, the Habs were just, locker room concerns, just Kovalev and Koivu not meshing well, Carbonneau not having a handle on the room, and they got swept in 4 games against Boston. But in 2009-2010, end of season, not the greatest regular season, but then they upset Washington and upset Pittsburgh, and they fell apart against Philly, sure, but they made it to the conference final that year. So if it's 2009, 2010 vibes, I want to get those vibes as well from this group. And Randy and Habs need to use their speed minus Perry and Stahl to create chances as well as get penalty calls. And that's what Evans and Lehkonen and Byron are really, really good at when they're at the top of their game. They draw a lot of penalties. They forecheck hard. They skate hard. Tough to play against. They defend well. So yeah, that was really that's what they do when they're most effective. Byron, Evans, and Lehkonen. Sheldon, tonight Kotkaniemi looked exactly like he did late in 2018, 2019, and December 2019. Very little momentum going to the playoffs. And yeah, like I said, that is concerning, Sheldon. I agreed, like I just talked about. Bialahi, I don't mind KK making mistakes, but I feel like he is not playing hard. He isn't making plays and not helping the team out. So to me, the problem with Kotkaniemi is just when his greatest attribute is his passing offensively. And when his game starts to dwindle down in terms of his effectiveness, he loses his puck control, meaning whenever the puck's on his stick, it's like a football. Whenever then he stops, and now he's at the point where he just doesn't even make the best passes. You know, it's just kind of awkward handling the puck, awkward making decisions with the puck on his tape. So so that's just the tough part of Kotkaniemi right now, and that's where he's at when his confidence is low. And also he's missing the net. I mean, that's kind of been an issue for him all year. He's been getting the puck to the net a little bit better at times this year, but he's just not getting the same shot or the same looks that he usually gets, and he got only one shot on net tonight. So yeah, that's also an issue. Bida Alahi, why didn't the Montreal Scouts look at Buffalo, Detroit, or Flyers games to see if players acquired were going to help the team? It tells a lot about Montreal's ability to assess talent. Well, here's the thing. John Merrill actually played pretty well in Detroit. Eric Gustafsson in Philly, not so much, but John Merrill played pretty well in Detroit. So to me, it could be maybe Merrill playing on his off wing. I don't know. I don't have too much of an issue with Merrill, to be honest. Like, yeah, I honestly don't really have too much of an issue with John Merrill. He has experience. He's played in playoff games before. So to me, it's more Romanov than Merrill recently. Because Romanov, young player, not always in the best position. Merrill hasn't been perfect either, don't get me wrong. But to me, the struggle, I just have a feeling it's that pairing, that combination of the two isn't the best right now. So whereas the players on their own, maybe with different deep partners, could be good. Maybe you put Kulak with Merrill. Or maybe you take Merrill out of the lineup and put Kulak back with Romanov because they played pretty well in there together. And then put Weber back with Sherrod. I know fans don't like it, but that's probably what the coaches are going to do anyway. Or put Kulak with Weber and Sherrod with Kulak with Weber, Romanov and Sherrod, and Merrill in and out of the lineup as need be. Yeah. Randy, and again, Anderson needs Drouin or playmaker to feed him the puck. I mean, Suzuki, Kotkaniemi could be that playmaker. And remember, in the middle of the season, Kotkaniemi with Anderson and Toffoli were really, really good. I would just say Anderson needs. I don't think it's so much of a playmaking thing with Anderson. It's just he has to score. Like the chances he creates his own chances, right? He creates his own chances, and he just has to score on them. That's all. You know, simple. That's that simple with Josh Anderson. Matt Cowan, well, it is what it is. We don't have a team that's ready to compete in the playoffs. Hey, look, I agree based on what we've seen this season, but playoffs, again, you never know. I always like to, maybe I'm a little bit stupidly optimistic sometimes, but playoffs some teams just turn it on in the playoffs, and who knows? It's the NHL playoffs. It's not the NBA where you have the Warriors that's going to come in and sweep teams and win 12 games in a row to make it to the finals. Like you don't have the Warriors, or it's not baseball where you have these dominant pitching staffs, dominant hitters. Even baseball things happen. You never know. NFL, it's one game, so you never know. But hockey, you really, really, really never know. What's it called? Bialahi, I know Josh Anderson is snake bitten. He does everything except score a goal. And that's all it is, really. Because like they said on the RDS broadcast, like, look, it's not like he's injured. I mean, he got banged up today. I hope he's okay from that. But before that play where he got banged up on with his knee or fell awkwardly or whatever, he's not really injured. He's still skating. He's still hitting. He's still a factor. Like, he's still affecting the game, but he's just not scoring. And that's the only issue with Josh Anderson right now. So literally, he's just snake bitten. And there's my mom. Happy birthday, T-1. Thank you, Mom. Love you very much. And thank you for bearing with me with the technical difficulties there. Thank you, Mom. Love you very much. Happy belated Mother's Day, of course. Very happy to be home with you guys on this weekend. And there's my dad right after, Jonathan Lang. The Habs got you a point for your birthday. Way to go, kid. I mean, a day before my birthday, but I guess, look, I'll take the clinch playoff berth for sure. Randy, and if Drouin is out of the playoffs, does this open a spot for Caulfield? Absolutely. I mean, look, Caulfield shouldn't come out of the lineup. To me, I hate to say it, but the guy that might come out of the lineup is Kotkaniemi. I hate to say it, but that could be the case with how he's playing right now and with the way the coaches are treating him. I hate to say it, but that could be the case. I mean, with the way they played tonight, you don't take out Byron, you don't take out Lehkonen, you don't take out Evans. Stahl has that whatever situation where he can't get healthy scratched or taken off the power play, you know. Tatar's got to stay there. Who else? Yeah, I honestly think that it could be Kotkaniemi that comes out of the lineup with the way he's playing right now. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Shouldn't be Caulfield. I don't think it should be Caulfield. Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough decision to make, and it'll be interesting to see for sure going into the playoffs what they do at the forward position. Roger Suzuki is the third lowest paid regular players all positions. Evans is the lowest paid player. Suzuki is one of four who played every game, third in points and fifth in goals. Love both KK and Nick. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, unless the Habs decide to make the maybe not great decision of trading one of those guys, Kotkaniemi and Suzuki will be the guys, the 1-2 punch at center going forward. So, it's just a matter of time before. They're definitely not in their primes yet, but hopefully when they do get in their primes, they will be really effective centers for the Montreal Canadiens on a nightly basis, for sure. Randy, please don't let the opposition to enter the zone all the way to the circle. Unacceptable. To me, the Habs, they have problems with when teams attack the zone with 3 or 4 guys. The Habs have issues just kind of like when the puck carrier just kind of delays and freezes and looks for guys to be open. The Habs kind of panic and back into their own zone instead of say, okay, who do we have to cover here? They kind of just like all watch the puck carrier and back up, allowing for the third or fourth guy high to get a good scoring chance. And the Habs have allowed so many goals and so many scoring chances like that this year. Bialahi, DD needs to find a new game plan. Dumping and chasing the puck, not very effective. Well, here's the thing. If you're running around your own zone, right, like you're going to get tired and you're not going to be able to chase the puck as well when you dump it. I don't mind dumping and chasing the puck so much, but you have to have a plan to chase it, of course. And if you have a plan to chase it, well, then, yeah, definitely switch it up for sure. And again, thanks to the birthday wishes there, Randy. Sheldon, wow, never thought I'd hear the possibility of taking out of the KK out of the playoffs, out of the lineup for the playoffs. Concern is continuing this chicken and egg cycle. He's in the. I mean, and then that's another thing. Like, look, the other issue is you should take out Eric. I mean, look, do you take out Eric Stahl? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Tatar also played only 11 minutes. Maybe you take out Tatar if he's not fully healthy. Maybe. Yeah, like it's really a tough decision on who you take out at the forward group when Deneau and Gallagher come back. I'll give it some more thought, though. I'll have to come back on you with that, guys. I'll give it some more thought. Agreed if DD is dumping and chasing, getting another coach as is Randy again. Julian Terry have been doing that for the last 8-9 seasons. I mean, yeah, to me, though, it's not so much the jump and dump and chasing. It's the defensive zone breakdowns that you just can't have. It's Romanov on 3 separate occasions just getting lost in his coverage, or guys trying to break out of their own zone, like the other night where they tried to break out of their zone, get stopped at the blue line, intercepted, and tic-tac-toe, Nylander or Tavares, Nylander goal, right? Yeah, Sheldon, thank you for the birthday wishes there as well. We're 51 minutes away. And Jesse, it's going to be an awesome series with the Toronto Maple Leafs. What do you think is going to make the difference? Well, I've said this before. I'll say it again. The difference is going to be defense, because I trust, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think that the Leafs are more consistent on defense than the Canadiens are, at least with the way the lineups are right now. And it's going to come down to opportunities. So which team could bury their opportunities and who will play better defensively? Because both teams have good goalies, both Jack Campbell, Jake Allen, or Carey Price, Freddie Anderson, whoever plays, they'll make saves. And if they don't, they're going to get out. They're going to be pulled really quick. So I don't think goaltending will be an issue, or goaltending will not be enough of a difference on either side. But it's going to come down to defense. It's going to come down to who buries their opportunities. Last comment here. From Randy, Habs secret weapon in the playoffs. Your thoughts? Their secret weapon? You know what? Could be Eric Stahl. Could be Tyler. You know what? I'll say Tyler Toffoli is not a secret because he's scored 28 goals this year. So it wouldn't be Tyler Toffoli. If you're going to say a secret weapon, it could be Eric Stahl or Corey Perry. Maybe not even Corey Perry, but I'd say Eric Stahl, because that's like the most secret type of guy that could become like good all of a sudden. Leave Gustafsson and Merrill on the taxi squad if Weber comes back. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're just there for depth anyway. They didn't give up much to get them. So, yeah, if they need to come in, you bring them in. But yeah, I like Romanov, Kulak, or Romanov, Sherratt, Kulak, Weber, and Edmonton Petrie obviously stay together. Since you mentioned here, Sheldon, one more comment here just because, yeah, it's getting late here, guys. But Sheldon, since you mentioned defense was a big issue, shouldn't Richardson draw our ire like Ducharme? But also, that's on Richardson, but also Ducharme is the guy playing Kotkaniemi only 9 minutes a game. So that's on Ducharme and Alex Burrows. So, yeah, look, hey, at the end of the day, Habs clinched the playoff spot tonight. Let's be happy about that. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. In this last year here at Langer the Mic, I grew, we're up to 100 subscribers here now. I think 116 subscribers. So I thank you guys so much for just tuning in here and bearing with me, especially tonight with the technical issues we had here. As usual, give me a big thumbs up on this video. Give me a follow. I'll take your question there, B.Alahi. How do the Habs fix their power play? To me, they fix the power play by first they have to get set in the zone. Because the Habs, these last couple of games, that's another thing. They didn't score on the power play again tonight. They just got to get set in the zone. They got to get set in the zone, keep things simple, and then things will come to them a little bit more naturally. But yeah, as usual, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Leave me a big thumbs up here on this video. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a follow at Mike Langer for Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And thank you so much for tuning in here on this episode of Langer at the Mic Live. Habs post-game show here on Langer at the Mic, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.